It's time for us to take a look at happenings in Parliament this entire week. But even before that, let's cross over to Zoom. We're still discussing parts of the budget, the Ajinkwa budget, and most precisely the road tolls and how it's, taking over completely with regards to people's views as to whether it should cease or not. And the back and forth between the Speaker of Parliament, the Majority Leader, and all of that. And so joining us via Zoom this morning is Dr. Pierre Osei Owusu. He's a transit administrator of the city of Durham in North Carolina. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gloria. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure speaking to you this morning. What do you make of the whole hula baloo about road tolls? I mean, the fact that the minister mentioned it in his policy budget statement, and then the roads minister, a few hours later, gave the directive for it to take effect from 12 a.m. The next day. And now the speaker says that the road minister did not have that authority to make that directive, and so he needs to reverse it, otherwise he'll be in contempt of Parliament. What do you make of this?
That is the politics of it, but I am a professional, and what I'm going to tell you is more about what the professionals will do in a case like this. Good morning, everybody, and it's like 4 a.m. This is near and dear to my heart, so I decided to stay up and at least have a comment or two.
Thank you.
The issue is more about what discussion, incisive discussion and reasoning that have gone on behind the scene before the announcement. In America, an issue like this is very important. It will go through a whole series of public participation, a study to actually confirm and give the compelling reasons for this kind of move. I'm a little bit not clear as to the reasoning for this, but all the same, you see, in Africa, Ghana, the informal sector is very, very big, and revenue streams are very, very minimal. I mean, you look at the situation where we have a whole lot of people who are not in the main economic. And so when you have something like toll, which is very organized, it's a very good assurance and it's sort of a hedge against any future budget shortfalls. So you are careful, even if it's not bringing in enough funds, you still have to maintain it. Anyway.
Oh, you're saying that we still have to maintain it even if we're not it's not bringing in enough funds. We're told that we're making about 72 million Ghana cedis a year, and that was not enough, to fix our roads. And so, which is why they have introduced the e-levy. At least part of it will be used to develop our roads across the country.
Well, when you say it's not enough, what is the data or the study to show that you do what you call ADT, average daily traffic volumes, to see how much money should be coming in and versus what you are getting. And to some extent, if you're not getting what you need, you probably will contract it out and let contractors do that. I mean, I've done it over here where we advertised on buses and I gave it out and we asked them, we want X amount of money, and that is what we're getting. The point is, it's a very assured source of revenue. And what has become an issue again is this whole idea of what I call disguised unemployment. I mean, you have a lot of people who are pretty much hawking all around. This is something we should have done, but we've allowed it. It's festered so much that people's livelihood depend on our situation. Now, what is going to happen to all these people? Of course, the obvious reasoning probably is traffic. And traffic congestion and all that. But it's a bigger issue more than just the toll road. The traffic situation, access roads are very, very limited in Ghana, in Accra, especially the metropolis. In America, a city the size of Accra and Tema or cities would have more or less big beltways around them. And these are what we call here freeways.
Yeah.
And that reduces a lot. Now, in terms of safety, yes, I can imagine the number of people who are, I mean, there's a lot of pedestrian conflict with the vehicles. And somebody will say that is one of the reasons why we have to stop this idling and then pollution and all that. Yes, but the problem is that You see, we did not stop it. Right now, it's very, very difficult to stop it.
You're talking about the hawkers along the streets?
Hawkers, I mean, let me take a very simple one. The one that I'm used to is the Tema motorway.
Yeah.
We're talking about the toll booth and what happens over there. What needs to happen to me is there should be a national conversation. People should really be part of the conversation. The decision-making process should be very clear and thorough and transparent. And then, of course, in a very tricky situation like this one, you sort of let the people decide. And you are talking about livelihoods, people's jobs, and all that will have to be considered. One thing that I see as a possible outlet way out of this is, you see, we have a lot of these heavy truckers coming through, especially from Tema to the north. Now, I see a lot of byways. Why don't you let them go ahead, toll them at that point, so that the freeways will be pretty much, or the motorway will pretty much open up.
Okay.
And that way we will have, it's all about congestion. I'm sure congestion is one of the main issues. And at this point, it's never going to stop unless we have very radical approaches. And some of these approaches will, like I said, will be a beltway. Or, as I've always preached, we should take a very serious look at mass transit. Busways, what you call BRTs, are the way to go. We don't have them. And so this as the way. Now, what I can tell, the amount of money the motorist will sort of save in anywhere near the loss of jobs that will reverberate into throughout the system. So bottom line is, it's a very tricky one. There should be public discussion and national conversation to be tolling. There should be a lot of surveys and studies to confirm that this is what needs to be done. But point is, once you stop it, you can never go back. So
it means that the minister cannot reverse the decision that has been taken already?
I'm not in the position to say what the minister...
Well, you are saying that once the decision has been made, it cannot be reversed. And that's why I'm asking you that in this case, what would you suggest?
If they stop it, if it's stopped, no future government, it's going to be difficult for any future government to bring it back, because then it will be under taxation. Now, if they to send or to try and add more to the highway, what do you call the motorist, car registration and so on, you have to be very careful over there too, because you overload or you overtax, it will be disincentive to some extent. So it's a balancing act, but the whole point is, this is such a tricky issue. There should be a very big open conversation, in fact, some kind of polling to be able to make sure that, hey, we polled, we got people to participate, and this is the outcome of whatever the minister said should be backed by the studies. There should be studies. For example, very simple study. How many times do they make it free for people, for cars to go through for a whole week? That alone will tell you whether the congestion issue will be resolved or not. You have to do that.
Okay. So you're saying that we can take some money, or we can collect tolls for certain days, and on other days we allow it to run free?
No, what I mean is, to do that, you have to have a study that will say, yes, if we don't collect tolls, the traffic congestion will go away. We do that by allowing a whole week, everybody go through, and then you study it very carefully. Universities are there. They should be doing the study for you and come up with a very clear-cut conclusions.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us this morning, and sorry for taking you out of bed this early. Dr. Pierre Osei Owusu is the transit administrator at the city of Durham in North Carolina.